We've also spoken with people from some foreign brands, and they still have some concerns about the lack of explainability in end-to-end systems. So why do so many overseas brands choose to partner with Momenta? Do you think it's because the scale effect is kicked in?
Generally speaking, joint venture or foreign brands typically have a very profound level of understanding and verification when it comes to technical solutions. It takes quite a while. For us, the cycle with these joint venture or foreign brands from initial contact to final mass production partnership usually takes 2 years or even longer.
Which brand reached a partnership the fastest?
As I recall, none of them were particularly fast. In fact, they all took at least 2 years or even longer, from the initial contact through various discussions and POC verifications, and finally securing a mass production order. That cycle alone can take 2 years. To secure more orders, you need to deliver well on that first mass production order during development, then more will follow.
You've been constantly announcing new brand partnerships. Is there a bit of a bandwagon effect going on?
The announcements only started this year, but for an automaker to choose a supplier, the nomination cycle is actually very long, like the 2 years I just mentioned. And 2 years ago, we actually...
Just I'm Motors.
Right. We didn't do much promotion in the industry. It was more about taking it step by step with these clients, communicating, getting to know each other, and doing various POC verifications before finally getting nominated.
Comparing Chinese and foreign brands, what do they care about most when choosing a partner? What does a foreign brand prioritize?
Essentially, it's the same. Like a top student, good technology, good product, good delivery, and a good price.
So 2 years ago, was your approach to finding clients like casting a wide net?
I think it's about the right fit. On one hand, the client's product and technical philosophies might align with ours, and we align with them as well. Then we come together. But coming together doesn't mean getting married right away. You need to date for a long time. Actually, 2 years is considered fast in the auto industry. There used to be a saying, it takes 3 years of knocking on doors from first contact to a mass production nomination. It used to take 3 years. Now many OEMs take 2, which shows the industry is developing rapidly and already accelerating.
Will that time frame get even shorter?
Probably not easily, because a mass production nomination is a very major decision for an OEM. Such a major decision won't happen instantly just because of a few good meetings. It requires all sorts of verification work. And verification takes time. To show you how hard it is and how high the standards are for international clients, we had one where, from 2020 to 2022, it was mostly online due to the pandemic. Communication was great. In 2023, they had to make the big decision. In the first half of that year, they sent 40 different research teams for discussions. Each time they had a very long list of questions and were fully prepared. It wasn't just talk, we had to do massive amounts of verification. Some were things the client asked for, but others were things they didn't even tell us. We just take our mass-produced products and then they design various scenarios for validation. In the end, so we match the results we provide with their overt and covert testing results, and then we align them to see if it's qualified in the end. The cycle is actually very, very long. We probably met them at the end of 2018. We started collaborating in 2019. During the pandemic, we had both cooperation and communication. In 2023, there was large-scale validation. By the end of 2023, we finally reached this mass production partnership. This is a fairly typical cycle. 2 years is actually very short, a very fast and short cycle.
How many people are at Momenta now?
Right now, it's 1,300 people.
How does such a small company support the smart driving systems for so many brands?
We have a very strong core development framework, and this framework has already iterated to the 5th generation. For instance, in 2022, we needed about 400 people and 2 years to mass produce one car model, but in 2023, we only needed 40 people and 6 to 9 months to mass produce a car. By last year, in 2024, it took about 3 to 6 months and around 10 people to mass produce a car. Of course, this is for derivative models. The overall development efficiency, mass production and adaptation efficiency have increased by hundreds of times in just 2 years.
Is this core framework a product or is it a system?
It's a product. Internally, we treat the system as a product. Just like products have phase 1, 2, and 3, if you treat an internal system as a product, you must identify who the internal users are, what value you're creating for users with this product, and how that value is measured. Phases 1, 2, and 3 gradually amplify that value. One track is reaching for the sky, which is upgrading the smart driving solution from L2 to L3, L3 to L4, and finally achieving large-scale, fully autonomous driving. The other track we call Covering the Earth, which is how to use one core framework to deliver to different customers and car models.
When these global brands partner with Momenta, are their current models mainly for China, or will they also export to the global market?
To put it simply, it's from China to the world. We've observed that the speed of smart EVs in China, especially in terms of intelligence, and the development of urban NOA, is 3 years ahead of other countries. So why do we say from China to the world? It's because the Chinese market is developing so fast. You'll see many foreign or joint venture companies bringing their best R&D teams, whether Chinese or global, to China and giving them significant decision-making power. Why? Because the Chinese market changes rapidly. The Chinese market develops fast. You use the best steel for the blade's edge. You put the strongest people in the best, fastest growing market.
When you're facing customers, what question do you fear them asking the most?
Actually, what I like most is when customers ask me questions.
Why?
If a customer isn't interested in you, they won't ask questions. You'll just have a brief general exchange and then there's no next time. But if they keep pressing you with questions, it means they're very interested and have a strong intent to cooperate. So they'll ask all sorts of strange and tricky questions. The reason is, these tricky questions are what they're worried about, concerns that might arise during development, mass production, or even after mass production. You see, they want to think through these issues in advance.
Looking at the current collaborative ecosystem of the entire auto industry, some parts might be outsourced to you, while others are developed in-house. What kind of trend will this become in the future?
I think they might coexist for a long time. Looking at it from another perspective, if I were the CEO of a large OEM, I would definitely have multiple suppliers, either 2 external suppliers or 1 internal and 1 external, or even an internal supplier plus 2 external ones. That way I can get the best product. It's like the 4 good student I mentioned earlier. If there's only 1 supplier, whether internal or external, the price might become unfavorable, or delivery might suffer. The product quality could also decline. Competition stimulates continuous innovation, and continuous innovation brings better technology, better products, better delivery, and better prices.
For combined assisted driving technology, will there be a very rapid iteration now?
It will still be very fast. Internally, we call it Moore's Law for intelligent driving, 10 times in 2 years, which is the industry average.
What about yourselves?
Our assessment is that the industry leaders can achieve at least 10 times in 1 year, or even 100 times. This difference is huge. The gap between last year's experience and this year's, in my judgment, might not be 100 times, but perhaps a bit more than 10 times. And this pace of progress will be maintained this year and next year.
What do you think is the real moat for an intelligent driving solution company? Does Momenta have it now?
The real moat, I think, is first mover advantage, scale advantage, and speed. We definitely have the first mover advantage. As I mentioned, with these customers, the shortest time is 2 years. Normally it might take 3 to 4, or even 4 to 5 years. So this first mover advantage is massive. Another is scale advantage. Scale advantage means having many customers and many car models. By the end of last August, we reached 100,000 cars for our first city NOA. By February this year, the second 100,000. We estimate that by May, we'll reach the third 100,000 cars.
For a company like Momenta, wanting to achieve such scale and keep pushing forward rapidly, what are the mistakes that cannot be made?
Actually, I think the most important thing is the accumulation of the main line. I believe for any company, if you say, I absolutely cannot make mistakes, then it's basically hard to innovate. So our company has 2 very important cultures. One is being customer value centered, meaning your innovation must have a direction. The goal is to innovate for customer value. Innovation means making mistakes. It's impossible not to. They're bound to happen. So how to fail more efficiently? We call it low-cost, short-cycle testing, using lower costs and shorter cycles to test our innovative methods and directions.
As a CEO, what's the one weakness you're most eager to address right now?
Working with the team is absolutely key, coming from the team and then going back to them. I truly feel that an individual's ability is actually very limited, as is their energy. So how do you get ideas from the team and then empower them? This is something I'm valuing more and more, and I've been doing more and more of it lately.